Hello again. I am doing from drawing textbook lesson number 4 for you today. Let's see how this goes. It's been a while, sorry. The first one is a simple table with pegs in it. Okay, well first we're going to draw our simple table, and what they suggest us, is to draw 2 points here and 2 points here to make your foreshortened tabletop. There's my tabletop, and I'll draw the sides down of my tabletop. Not a very big table. Okay, then I have the base of my table, which is in the middle. And again, these lines have to be parallel with these lines down here, so I'm going to have to make this line a little bit longer. Make that one a little better. And these 2 lines are parallel with this one down here. And you see that they're all parallel. Good. All right, I'm going to put a little glass on top of here. A glass is made with 2 foreshortened. I'm going to have to erase it a tiny bit because I'll have it right there. A glass is made with 2 foreshortened circles and a line connecting them. Yep. And so I can have some liquid in here in my glass on my table. A little close to the edge of the table. All right, so now we want to put 2 pegs in this. One coming out the right side and one coming out the left side. Now the one coming out the right side is again going to be parallel to this line, these lines here, because it's all going in the same direction. So I'm just going to stick a little peg there, a line there, and it has a curve because it's a peg, and a line there, and I have a foreshortened circle at the end. That lines up with that. Not very well though. Let me try that one again. That doesn't look very good at all. Sorry. Let's try that once more. Make that properly parallel. Let's go down a bit more, I think. There we go. That looks better. And here's the end of my peg. I can draw that line back in there. This one over here, I'm going to draw here peg, part of my peg, and there's the other part of my peg. And that's where it connects to the box. And there's the end of my peg. Just going to erase that little line there. There's my 2 pegs in my box. I'm going to shadow this side. I'm going to have my light coming from this side. So I need some shadow here. And I would put shadow on this whole thing here. This whole side here. These are flat surfaces, so I'm just using a pretty straight line. When I shade my peg though, I would actually do a little bit of a curving line because it's obviously a curved peg here. And the end is not going to be very visible. It's going to be in the shadow there. So there's my peg. This peg will have a little bit of shading on this side. If my light's coming from over there. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is just a table. No, sorry, a table lamp. There we go. We'll start with the top of our table lamp. Then we go to the lamp shade. There's the top of the lampshade, and we come down to make our lampshade, and this curves like the other part. Then we have the stand, right? And that curves as well. And now you have to draw a foreshortened circle here for the base. And the sides come down. And the bottom. There's my table lamp. I can put a little plug here. This is a this is a pretty old looking lamp. I'll put a little shading here on the side, a little bit of shading over here as well. Okay, there's the lamp. That went pretty quickly, the lamp. And the third one is a pencil pointing in this northwest direction. Okay, so we're going to have the side that's nearest us, closest to the bottom of our page. And we'll also have it, since it's going this way, we'll have the biggest side here. Now we're just going to draw a line for the part of the pencil. And because we're going off into some point in the distance, these 2 lines have to slightly go towards each other, not completely. Right? I'm going into the distance. This is a very big pencil, obviously. They did not point theirs in the same direction. Northeast is in this direction. Okay. We have the pencil point coming off the top there. That looks like a pencil point. Okay, and the pencil point is going to curve that way because to show the curve of our pencil, we're going to have a band here on our pencil. This is decoration. And here at the bottom, we're going to have the foreshortened circle, of course, because, well, it's a pencil. It has the lead in it. There's my lead in my pencil. You see it's going off that way, and it's getting smaller. You need some shading along this side because we're at the table. I'm going to make this band kind of a dark color to leave a little bit of space for some light that's shining on there. Again, we're going to color this bottom side a little bit darker. And the bottom, this is away from the light. Again, my light source is coming from the right there. So I'm just going to shade in my bottom here a bit. And there's my pencil pointing that way. So this has the surface so that the near end is closer to the bottom of the paper. Right? The size, the near end is drawn larger than the far end. The surface lines show you which end is closer to you, as the shading shows you where the light is coming. And the foreshortening, of course, shows you that here is the close side of the pencil and not the far end. So a lot of things all thrown into that one picture. The next one's a pretty easy one. It's a flag blowing left. We did a flag blowing right in lesson 4. I'm just going to do the swishy things. That's my flag. I come down. I repeat that same thing. I come down here, I come down here, I come down here. They're all the same length because it's a flag after all. I don't know if I can get that same swish in there, but there you go. There's my flag. And here's my flagpole that it's attached to. All right. That's a pretty easy flag. It's blowing left. Flag blowing left. This next one's going to take a little bit more time. This is a volcano with some other mountains around it. We're going to start with the crater part of the volcano, which is going to be 2 foreshortened circles. One, and then the other one right around it. That's the opening to my volcano. Here's my volcano coming down here a bit. Okay. They want me to show me have the top blowing off of the volcano. So we're going to have another set of foreshortened circles just touching here, about the same size. And this is the top of the volcano that just blew off. Let's add some shading there so you can get a better appreciation of this one. This side is going to be shaded here because my light's coming from over here again. And so the inner part is dark. So we're going to shade that off a bit too. The inside and the inside on the bottom would be the same case. All right, now we're going to, before I shade in my volcano, I'm going to add a few more mountains here. Here's a nice crazy peak there, and there's something, and here's something more hilly here. Okay. And their suggestion is to shade these. If my light, again, is coming from my right, then I just want to do some texture lines on everything to show that these mountains have some shape to them and some drama happening here. And we'll just go do, all right, and the left portion is what I'm going to shade in. That's the side of the mountain. In each case, that's away from my light. And I'm just going to keep coloring these in. And the last one too. There's my mountains. Looks pretty good. Okay, and the last one is a simple table with a birthday cake on it. You might want to start with the table, but that's wrong. Start with the cake. Here we'll do the foreshortened circle for the top of my cake. Here's my cake. There it is. Let's put a few candles on it. We can actually have them lit and shining. La-da, happy birthday. Okay. The table, if you think of these as you want to have your cake in the middle of the table, So that means these points have to be in the middle. So I'm going to just extend them out a little bit to get the end points of my table. I'm going to have a point down here, which is the front of my table. And I'm going to connect those. And I'm going to imagine a point behind my cake, say right about here, that I'm going to do the back end of the table. Okay, once again, this line and this line are parallel, and this line and this line here of my table are parallel. Let's go down. We have 3 parallel lines here, 1, 2, 3, and this one is parallel to that, and this line is parallel to that one. And let's draw the base of our table. I'm going to put it here and here. And again, these lines have to be all parallel. This one has to be parallel with that line, and we can shade it if we want. Put a little shading here on this side where there's no light. I can actually shade my cake too. This and the table. There would be some shading from the cake on the table too. Kind of a roundish thing, but that's not really part of this lesson. Okay, so that was lesson 4.